Today we are breaking the world record beet farming in Raft. The current record stands at... Today we are studying the world record beet farming in Raft.
The beet,
also known as the table beet or golden beet, was grown by the ancient Egyptians, Greeks and Romans. And if you're lucky, it can turn your pea red. But more on that later. The rules are simple. Farm as many beets as we can in 45 minutes, no mods, and that's it. I first tried a test run to get a feeling of what we were dealing with. To farm beets, we don't need much. A spear to fend off the shark which will attack us every 5 minutes, a hammer to repair the damage, water purifiers to desalify the water, and crop pots. Lots and lots of crop pots. As each pot can only fit 3 beets and harvesting 1 beet will give 2 new ones, this
exponential growth
of beet means that our main limiting factor is the number of crop pots we manage to make. The game actually calls these crop plots, but I will be calling them crop pots. Why, you ask? Well, this first run already taught us a couple of things. Number 1, since only beets in my inventory count towards the challenge, and the grow time for beets is 5 minutes, planting beets after 40 minutes had passed wouldn't do anything useful as they would still be in the ground when the time runs out. 2, we clearly need more than 1 water purifier to keep up with the demand for water. In later games, I found that 4 purifiers was a good amount. With these things in mind, I went for a new run. Nah, that's too short.
Story of my life.
After meeting your mom, I realized that plants get automatically watered if it's raining, which was a huge boost as I didn't need to spend time on watering the crops and I didn't need to burn wood to keep the purifiers running.
This rain thing is really great.
As planned, I tried to get as many beets as possible planted before the 40-minute mark.
Yes, okay, that should be good.
A significant improvement. However, there were still many inefficiencies. Besides me having a walnut for a brain,
oh, we didn't fill it. Ah, fucking idiot.
I found out the most optimal game start is to gather the exact resources needed for a purifier and a cup, which is this, plus 1 wood to get the purifier boiling.
Oh, that's hot.
Then while the water is boiling, we can collect the exact resources needed for the crop pot, which is this. This would enable us to get the minimum setup down as soon as possible, so we can immediately start growing beets whenever we loot from a barrel. A few games later, we constructed a more extended build path, where all the required items for the game would be made in the beginning of the run, when I didn't have to focus on keeping up yet with the harvesting, farming and purifying of water for the ever-growing number of beets. I was also missing quite some hooks, which we should avoid as it is a not to be underestimated waste of time.
Too impatient.
Oh, come on. In 3, we put these next steps to the test.
Alright, we're not missing a single hook. There. 3 already. Oh man, this is gonna be great. Please tell me I don't need a paddle. Oh yeah, we're gonna need a paddle. Fuck.
My raft floated right towards an island, forcing me to spend precious resources on building a paddle in order to not be stuck. We even had to swim for the necessary resources, which seems to be a recurring theme for me when playing this game. Go watch my other raft video.
This is such a fucking waste of time.
I was dehydrated. But there was also less than 1 minute to go before the plant cutoff of 40 minutes. We had a choice to make. Take a sip of water or water additional beets, thereby risking to lose half our resources and beets if we die.
Please, water. We're so thirsty.
I took the gamble, watered the beets first, and was still able to purify new water for myself just before death, resulting in a new record. But we can still do better. Rewatching the footage, I was annoyed by how much resources went into making a spear to fend off the shark. During the course of 45 minutes, we actually had to make 2 spears, then the first one would break at the 35-minute mark.
Spear, I don't want to craft a spear.
I wondered if there was a more efficient way to deal with this. The shark lets loose of the raft after 15 damage, and the spear does 5 damage per hit. And you know what else does 5 damage per hit? Rocks.
Cell phone video capturing a shirtless man on a rampage throwing rocks.
If I could use the rocks looted from barrels instead of making spears, this would be a great efficiency gain. Also, we spent the last 5 minutes of the game just waiting for our final crops to finish. Instead, we should keep farming barrels as these can contain extra beets. We interrupt this broadcast for a quick word from our sponsor, Beets by Dronut. To purchase Beets by Dronut, subscribe and like this video and the beets will be delivered to your home address. In 4, we tested fending off the shark with rocks.
Well, that was an absolute fucking disaster.
It did not go well. Rocks needed to be charged up for too long before being thrown, so 2 spears was still clearly needed. Despite the losses from testing out the rock throwing and me accidentally building the wrong item,
A grill? Fuck.
we still hit a new record of 177 beets. This was mainly due to the larger rounds of rain, enabling me to save time and resources. This was a pretty terrible run, resulting in 132 beets, mainly because I accidentally planted a bunch of crops after the 40-minute cutoff while spamming the harvest button.
No, I planted. Oh my god. Why?
Shit.
clicked.
7. Before we dive into game 7, a quick lesson on advanced beet farming. Imagine the following situation. 2 crop pots. One crop pot has 1 growing beet, and 2 beets have just been completed, meaning 4 beets are now in our inventory. Crop pot 2 is empty. What is the most optimal replanting pattern for the 4 beets? Initially, it doesn't really matter. Any way that we plant the 4 beets, we will have to water both crop pots to get all 4 beets growing. However, in anticipation of beet A being finished soon as well, this configuration is the most optimal, since we can then plant the 2 beets harvested from A in the same pot, meaning we only have to water once as opposed to if we planted the initial beets like this. And you thought this beet farming was just herder, don't miss hook and pokey pokey shark. In 7. We absolutely blasted through our build path and it felt good. I was ready to farm some beets.
Oh my god, thank you.
This was a painful lesson in exponential growth. The sooner we start beet farming, the sooner we start our exponential growth, and the higher the number of beets will be. Based on the current record of 177 beets, I calculated backwards to when I needed to have my first beet planted. If we don't get one by at least the 10-minute mark, it is best to start the run from scratch. And if we assume imperfect planting and watering speeds, it's best to even have a beet planted before the 5-minute mark. We have now identified all factors which are beyond our control. 1. Avoiding islands will yield a better run. 2. Getting rain will yield a better run. And 3. Finding the first beet faster will also give us more beets. Now you may be wondering, why would you do a speed run which is partially based on factors you can't do anything about? 8. This game started perfectly, as I spawned next to a barrel containing a beet.
Oh yes, perfect.
This gave significant pressure to deliver, and I was missing quite some hooks because of it.
Oh, come on, focus. Don't fuck this up.
By the 3-minute mark, I was growing my first beet.
Now we're growing already.
187 beets, a new record.
Boom. That's a lot.
But we could still do better. During the run, I took a gamble to scout this island for useful loot or fruit, losing precious time, and I also forgot to repair part of my raft, making me lose beets when the shark attacked again.
What? Oh, I didn't repair it. Fuck.
Game 9.
If you think I would learn from my mistakes, you should know better by now.
Oh my god. Thought I repaired it. It was a bad run anyway.
I spent a few more games trying to break the record, but had to restart most of them due to non-optimal starts. And then, with
18.
we did our world record beet farming run. We interrupt this broadcast for a public service announcement. 10 to 14% of people's pee turns red after eating beets. It is completely harmless, but pretty cool. So head down to your local store, buy some beets, and find out if you can do something special for the first time in your life. In
18.
everything clicked. We hooked in our first beet at 1 minute 45 seconds and had it growing already 1 minute later. All hooks were landing, and I flew through our build path so fast that I decided to build a 5th purifier. By the 10-minute mark, we had all required items, 5 purifiers, and 5 beets growing across 2 crop pots. I was repairing all shark damage immediately, our plant mechanics were on point, and I even received some encouraging words from your mom. The only thing which could have gone better at this point is more rain.
Winds are howling. This is where... rain. Perfect. Not even the shark can stop us now.
When the rain finished, it was time for the 5 purifiers to come into action. But by the next harvest and plant wave...
Is that rain? Oh, perfect timing. Look at that. So fucking lucky.
Having gathered all beets nicely on time, I threw one last hook out towards a barrel. 219 beets. So there you have it. Was this useful? No. Was it fun? Occasionally. Will someone find this and break the record in less than a week? Don't you fucking dare.